Hello there everybody, welcome back, and with the year coming to an end, I still had one more video I had to get out. I've already done the movies I've seen worst to first for the year, so now of course we gotta do the top 10 entertainment moments of 2023. Now, this year was there's been a lot of really good stuff that came out in all divisions, from movies, shows, and of course video games. So I'm just gonna dive right into it. So, at number 10 is the car chase sequence from the Lackadaisy pilot. Now, yes, you'll see here there's a couple of indie animation stuff that was released on YouTube that you'll see on this list. And this is one of them because I never really heard of this prior, but I wanted to give it a shot, and I heard a lot of, good work that went into it, and a lot of people I heard from Helluva Boss and all, which is that other indie animated show I like that I've been talking about for a couple years, they've worked on it. So it's a really tight-knit type of community where the same type of people work on different projects. So I wanted to give it a shot, and overall unfortunately didn't get to review the pilot here, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I just wanted to pick a moment from there just to gush about it. And I think this was the best moment to pick with how the animation was done in this car sequence, because it basically takes place in the 1920s, and it's these cats basically smuggling alcohol during the Prohibition era, where alcohol was outlawed and stuff, and it's just them fighting a rival gang. And I like the whole sequence, and so that's just why I wanted to put it on the list, because the animation was good. I love the character, how they interacted off each other and all. And this character, Freckle, he was my favorite in there, so I just wanted to give him a shout out. But yeah, so there you go. At number 9, you have the motorcycle sequence from Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Now, yes, Tom Cruise is a madman. This dude will do anything stunt-wise, and this might be one of the best sequences I've seen in quite a while, because they put in all the marketing because they knew this was their money shot. But just watching it, how it played, how you watch the film, and you get to the point and you know it's coming. This dude literally rides a motorcycle off a cliff and, parachutes, he skydive parachutes onto a moving train. It is incredible that they were able to pull this off. And I believe, the motorcycle part, at least, where he rides it off the cliff, that's real. I'm not sure if he actually landed on a moving train, but a lot of this was really practical, and just seeing the behind the scenes, I had to put it on the list because this was a jaw-dropping moment for me in the theater. At number 8, we have the realization setting in for the Amazing Digital Circus pilot. Yes, another indie animation thing. This was a fantastic year for indie animation on YouTube. And this was the Amazing Digital Circus made by Gooseworks, where you have these people who become trapped in this AI circus type reality, and they're coming to terms with they're just stuck here for the rest of their lives. And it's really creepy, and your main character, Pomni, that little circus girl, is trying to find the way out, and then by the end of the pilot, she realizes that she's trapped, and then it plays this creepy, weird music, and it zooms in on all of them at a table, a dinner table, and she starts to just go a little crazy with the smile there. So I was just like, oh shit. It was just such a great pilot, and of course the pilot is one of the best performing pilots I've ever seen in terms of viewership. I believe it passed 200 million views. So they're definitely making more, so we will see where this leads. Will they escape? And it's just a lot of burning questions, and a fantastic group of characters as well, so I had to put it on the list also. At number 7, I'm Just Ken from the Barbie movie. Of course, by far the best part of this movie. I believe I may have mentioned that in my movies I've seen worst to first, about the Kens being my favorite part of the film. But the whole sequence is literally legendary, from the musical work to the performance from Ryan Gosling and all the other Kens in the film, and just the design of the sets that they're on, and of course that part you see there, they're all dressed in black, and it's hilariously stupid. It's really it's ridiculous, but I loved it so much. That's probably the only part of the film I'll rewatch is just the I'm just Ken sequence. I love it so much. It was so dumb, but so fun. At number 6, we have the test and the nuke scene from Oppenheimer. Of course, this was when you talk about Barbie, you gotta talk about Oppenheimer, as Barbenheimer goes. But I really thought, like, this movie was much better in a lot of ways, and this scene, which was the main selling point, really about seeing the nuclear sequence portrayed and tested, and just seeing how much tense and suspense there is, because we already know the outcome, but they still make you feel that way, seeing about how they were able to pull this off and achieve this incredible, while also horrifying, capability of mankind. And just seeing the initial blast, and it was just pure silence. It was just quiet. And that really, I was just like, whoa. Like, it really was crazy. And just you could hear a pin drop in the theater. And everyone was just glued to the screen. And it was such a amazing sequence. It was truly jaw-dropping. At number 5, we have Bode's betrayal from Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Now, yes, I believe my first video game on the list, and this game was fantastic in a lot of ways. It was a much improvement over Fallen Order, which I was not that much of a fan of, but I have grown to appreciate more. And Cal goes through so much loss and turmoil, losing his new crew at the beginning, but he has his ally in Bode. They're trying to salvage the remaining, Jedi Order, like some survivors and all, and they're gonna find a place that, throughout the story, you're trying to get the location to be able to, evacuate there and be safe from the Empire and all. But who you thought was like your best friend in the game, Bode, ends up betraying you, and it was a completely shocking moment, because you had a main villain, someone from an old era of Star Wars that you guys were fighting, and it felt like you might have beat him too early. So I'm like, what else is going to happen here? I mean, this was actually a pretty short game, and then you realize what the main actual bad guy is with Bode, and it was just, maybe it's predictable for some people, but I was not expecting it at all. I was completely blown away. And Bode actually has, a pretty good motivation, because he wants to keep his daughter safe, and he felt that doing this was the best thing for her, so that he could take the coordinates himself, so that those two can go to the place. And it was just like a really interesting dynamic there, and just seeing someone that you thought was your friend betray you like that, it was just a crazy moment for me. It was great. At number 4, we have basically the song sequence for Fizarali and Asmodeus from Helluva Boss episode 7, season 2. Now, of course, I had to put something from Helluva Boss on the list, and there is something that will be in the honorable mentions, but this sequence here was my favorite, because it really showed their relationship and dynamic, and it showed how much they really care for each other, and I'm a sap for that type of stuff. And just, him, like Asmodeus, talking to Fizarali and trying to calm him down and show that he's there for him, it was really sweet. I love their dynamic there, and it was just great to see. And the song was a banger, of course, like a lot of the songs in the show are, but the whole moment was so, it made me happy. At number 3, we have Spider-Man vs. Scream from Marvel Spider-Man 2. Of course, I had another video game entry on the list here, and it was really tough for Spider-Man 2, because I knew something was going to be on the list from the game, because it was a phenomenal game. But what? And I decided to put this moment, because they were building towards, through dialogues and all, about MJ and Peter. There was some uneasy tension there with, her really not liking her job, with, J. Jonah Jameson, him, with his struggles of being Spider-Man and all, and they were just, they were all both juggling, personal stuff to try to help the other, and it comes out into a head where Venom gives MJ a symbiote and turns her into Scream, and it basically, like I mentioned in my gameplay clip when I was playing it, that it was basically trauma dumping. He was apologizing, she was venting and really frustrated, and we already saw what he was like with the symbiote. It let his worst parts of him out, and she did the same, but seeing them overcome it, and then looks like they're pretty much a stronger couple, that they overcame their differences, and plus you have a great fight in this sequence, and it's a long fight, so it's a lot of fun. It was a great moment for me. At number 2, we have the Kelly blindside from Survivor 45. Yes, something from Survivor 45, which is a phenomenal season of the show, had to be on the list. And I was really debating on this or the thing that I did put in the honorable mentions, because both of those were the top 2 moments, in my opinion, for the show. That's not to say there isn't other great moments, but these were the 2 that really stuck out to me. And I had to go with this blindside, because this blindside was really incredible to watch, because not only does it go against what the past couple votes were, which were people getting dogpiled on, everyone just voting out one person, just dogpiling on one person, but it also solidified, in my opinion, that someone from Reba, the Red Tribe, would win the season. because with that vote, like, we saw that the Blue Tribe was really fractured, because the 3 girls were willing to vote out, Jake, and, Bruce was willing to Bruce couldn't really do anything because he had immunity, and he didn't have a vote either, so he was safe, because that was the initial target. So they were willing to cut one of their own instead of go after Reba. And I know the previous vote where Katurah messed it up and voted out Caleb kind of sealed the deal there, but they were willing to continue to turn on their own, and it was just insane to watch. Like, you guys were literally handing Reba the win, but of course with that, it doesn't get any better for Belo. They start getting pagoned, and it was just like, well... So it was just a great blindside, shocking. I screamed, I freaked out watching it. I was blown away, mostly because Jake was my favorite all season, and I was so happy he survived. But I digress. All right, we got some honorable mentions that I want to get to, so let's jump right into it. Honorable mention number 1 here, we have Blitz and Fizzarolli's Heart to Heart. Now, yes, I mentioned earlier there was a hell of a boss moment I wanted to have on here, and this is it. Because I was really thinking if I should put this one, but I went with the more happier, thing that I liked with the other thing instead of this. But this was really powerful and great for both of their characters. They both finally got some closure. They both talked more about this, and that's the thing. If you talk more about stuff, it gets better instead of just keeping it bottled up. But they talked about that incident, which you see Fizzarolli got destroyed. He has all these prosthetic limbs and everything. Blitz has that big white scar on his face. So they talked about what actually happened, and it was an accident. Blitz apologized, and it was a really great moment for both of them. Honorable mention number 2, we have the Caleb basically saving himself, negating all 11 votes with the shot in the dark. Yes, this was the other Survivor moment that I had to put on the list, and I was really close. But at the end, it just came down to, I went more towards strategic mastery than just pure luck. Because that's what this was. Literally, shot in the dark. You reach in, you risk your vote, and reach in for a scroll, and you have a 1 in 6 shot at immunity. That was absolutely pure luck, but it was still great TV, seeing everyone freak out. Even people that wanted to vote him out were like, mad respect, like, props to you, because they were like, that was a 1 in a million type of thing. And that was the first successful shot in the dark that saved someone, because you had one that saved someone before, but they weren't in danger of getting voted out. This one was like 11 people wanted him out of the game. So it was this incredible TV, and it just further reiterates why season 45 is one of the best seasons in a long time of the show. Honorable mention number 3, we have Loki exposing the Kane statues in the main room from Loki season 2. This moment, again, real quick, I just had to put it on the list because I remember just the dramatic music, everyone jaw dropped, seeing it, and Tom Hiddleston's performance, showing them that Kane, like, he's the real threat here. He's the one who created this whole thing and stole everyone's lives. And it was just such a whoa moment. Like, I was just like, oh my god. It was just really suspenseful and really good to watch. And of course, if you guys know me, you'll know this would be number 1, the afterlife scene from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Again, this was, I already gushed about how much I love this movie so much and what it does for Rocket's character and for all the Guardians, really. but this was like the main moment of the film where I legit teared up. Like, I was not okay. And just seeing, Rocket talk with his, with Lila, and just seeing his old friends, and she's telling him, you have a purpose here, don't give up, you need to continue, while also kind of his other, like his current friends, the Guardians, like Peter Quill and all, trying to bring him back to life and save him. And that was the whole plot of the movie, was to save Rocket. So it was just such a heartfelt, emotional sequence, and the music was just booming over the whole thing. It was just fantastic to watch and really heartbreaking, but it was by far the best moment of the year for me. It was just standout. But yeah, that was my list, guys. What'd you all think of it? Please let me know down below in the comment section. Did I miss anything that you guys would have put on the list? Or do you disagree with any of these being on the list? Again, please let me know. And if you want to hit the bell as well to get notified when I upload and subscribe, that would mean so much to me. Again, have a happy new year, and I'll see you next year. Bye, guys.